Let's talk about the books that I read in January. Not necessarily a great month for me, but also definitely not a bad month for me either. Here are the books that I read. First up, I finished The Will of the Many by James Allington. This was a phenomenal book. It definitely has some aspects and elements of Red Rising that I noticed pretty heavily with this book, but I still very much enjoyed it, and it had a lot of things that still made it its own. 4.5 stars for me. Great book. I'm very excited to see how book 2 ends up, and the cliffhanger on this book was crazy. Next up, the next book that I finished is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. This was an excellent book too. This did not suffer from the slump that the second book in the series usually ends up having. This did not have these issues. Joe Abercrombie's character work, world building, fight scenes, all excellent. I love the dialogue. I'm laughing the whole time that I'm reading this. This has some really amazing characters, and Joe Abercrombie is really cementing his spot up there for one of my favorite authors. I have not been disappointed with anything that I have read so far. I'm about 60% of the way through book 3, and I'm very excited to see how it turns out. 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. Fury of the Gods, book 3 in the Bloodsworn saga. This had an excellent ending. This had a very satisfying conclusion that you come to know and expect with John Gwynne books. The fight scenes are excellent. It really wraps things up, and there are some really crazy shocks and twists in this book that I really didn't expect that were next level. This book was a 4 out of 5 for me. I still think that Hunger of the Gods, book 2 in the series, is definitely my favorite. 4 out of 5. Great series, excellent trilogy. If you haven't started it, you really need to check it out. Last but certainly not least is Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. I do have a full review of this up on my channel, but to put it quickly, if you can, absolutely beautiful book. This was a masterwork. This makes you feel all the feelings. This has just some of the best battle scenes, political intrigue, inner monologue, and dialogue that I have read in some books, and this thing is still sticking with me. This was easily a 6 out of 5 for me. My favorite out of the entire Red Rising saga. This is my favorite. This was an amazing book. This was it. This was amazing. That is my January wrap up. It's 4 books. Not bad, not great, but the quality of these books was incredibly high, so that definitely makes up for it in my opinion. I'm very excited to see what February has to offer. As always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.